Hey guys, I'm John Campea, and welcome to my movie vlog. Star Wars Rebels has now come to an end. I've had some highs with it, I've had some lows with it. Overall, I really liked the final season, but now we headed into the series finale, and I gotta tell you, there are things I both really loved and kind of really hated about it. Let's talk about the things I really liked about the finale first. First of all, there were some people online criticizing that they didn't wrap up Rebels more connected into the rebellion, about Rebels ultimately leading to the more firm foundation of the rebellion that leads, of course, into the events of Rogue One and, of course, Star Wars Episode 4. They criticized it, and why did we just end up back on Lothal? But for me, I gotta tell you, I thought there was something poetically beautiful about this story beginning on Lothal with a boy on his world that's kind of under the thumb of the Imperials, kind of representative of what the galaxy is going through, and for them to bring it all the way back around full circle to it ending with a boy on his home world of Lothal being under the thumb of the Empire, but now being in a position where maybe he can get them out from under the thumb of the Empire. And yeah, for sure, there could have been big upside to having something grander, a larger scale kind of epic battle, something that leads into the events of Rogue One. Sure, you could have done that. But again, for me, there's a poetic beauty to it coming full circle, with it being about Ezra back on its home world, fulfilling the promise to his parents that he made so long ago. And there's something about that that I really, really valued. Another thing I really enjoyed is while we saw the loss of Canon a couple of episodes ago, I like how even within the finale, the loss of Canon is still very much being felt by the crew. They still feel his loss. They still feel their pain, and the lessons he left behind and the examples that he set and the presence that is no longer there can be felt in the actions of all the different characters, and I thought they did a really good job with that. And in talking about the story coming full circle, now what they could have done is just had the story end with just the boy and that original crew of the Ghost. They could have done it that way, but instead Dave Filoni and the showrunners behind Rebels were cognizant of the fact that, you know what, there has been a journey in this circle in starting at Lothal and coming back. And we have met a lot of characters along the way, and they brought so many of those characters together for the finale, whether it was Ryder, whether it was Callus, whether it was Rex, whether it was Hondo. We saw that this finale was the culmination of these past few years that we have come along on this journey with this crew, and I really like that they were there to be a part of that as well. The finale had fun, it had adventure, it had that sense of Star Wars epicness to it all at the same time, the good versus bad, the fledgling rebellion against the Empire. They did a lot of things right. However, with that being said, they did some things in there that just made me want to smack my head. Okay, let's start off with the general plan, okay? I got a problem with this. The general plan understanding is, okay, let's get that Imperial Command Center. Let's send out this special code that tells all the Imperials to get back on the command center, and then we'll blow it up. Essentially, the Rebel plan was mass murder. Now, you might be saying to me, but John, what about the Death Star? They killed thousands of Imperials on the Death Star too. Yeah, but the point of blowing up the Death Star was to destroy this planet-killing weapon. It wasn't about killing the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people on the Death Star. It was about blowing up that Death Star so it can't destroy more planets. The entire point of this plan was murder as many Imperial people as possible. You see, it wasn't just good enough for them to blow up the Imperial hub base. They didn't just blow that up. First, they wanted to get as many Imperials, so when we murder, we really murder. And that just seemed kind of dark for even a young Jedi's plan. And speaking of the plan, it was pretty flawed. I mean, even let's take the magic space whales out of it, and believe me, we'll get to the magic space whales in just a second. But the plan was, hey, get all the Imperials murder as many of them as we can, blow up the Imperial hub station. Yay, we won the day, except for the fact that there was like a dozen Star Destroyers in orbit. A single Star Destroyer could have orbitally bombarded that entire planet and leveled it to dust. I don't care if you got the shield up. Eventually, with 12 Star Destroyers blasting down on you, they're going to destroy the shield and kill everybody on the planet. But John Ezra thought of that. He had the magic space whales. Yeah, but Hera and Zeb and Sabine didn't know about the magic space whales. For all they knew, they were just going up. No, none of them thought, oh yeah, what about those 12 Star Destroyers in orbit? Okay, now let's talk about the magic space whales. Magic space whales. There are a number of Rebels episodes along the way that I have just not enjoyed, and the whole hyperspace magic space whales was one of them. And the fact of the matter is, they were only ever referenced in one episode and used once, and yet they become the big key point to Ezra's plan to make sure we can beat the Empire. And I remember watching the finale with my wife, Anne, and they were building up to him like, oh my God, please tell me they're not, please tell me that Ezra isn't sending out a signal to bring in the magic space whales. Please don't let it be it's the magic space whales. Then there's this notion that, hey, maybe Ezra's still alive, and by extension, of course, a lot of people are hoping that maybe Grand Admiral Thrawn is still alive. However, the magic space whale used his magical space whale tentacle to break the glass of the Star Destroyer, of the ship that they were on, and then they go into hyperspace. They went into outer space and into hyperspace totally exposed. They weren't in a ship. The glass was broken. They were just sitting. They were exposed to the elements. Nothing can survive hyperspace. And by the way, did you know that there's this new Jedi power called force fucking? There has to be, because how else did Hera conceive a child with Canon when they never did it? But the thing at the end of it that really, really bothered me was, once again, Lucasfilm is playing fast and loose with what has been established as canon. Everything from the one speech that we heard Grand Admiral Thrawn give, all the Jedi was wiped out, and all those that are still around, they're in dark corners, and they're all blah, blah, blah. It felt to me like he was saying more than just Yoda. And by the way, even Vader didn't know Yoda was still around, or more than just Obi-Wan. Even Vader thought Obi-Wan was dead. There was an implication in the Admiral's words that implied there were a bunch of more Jedi out there. Compound that with the fact that Sabine and Ahsoka, first of all, Ahsoka's still alive, and Ahsoka still believed that Ezra's out there somewhere. All that goes completely contradictory to what Yoda said in the original films when, "Gone am I, the last of the Jedi will you, Luke Skywalker, be." Now, I've heard lots of people online try to play semantics with that. Well, maybe if Yoda said this and was meaning this, and if you twist what he said here, then it all works. Yeah, but once again, you're playing fast and loose with what the clear original intention was, and the clear original message was established by Canon, the original trilogy. The Jedi were gone. Luke was the last. And now what we've got is they've thrown Canon out the window again and said, no, there's still a bunch of Jedi out there, and Ahsoka's still around, because technically she's not a Jedi. Yeah, she's just a Force user, lightsaber wielding fighter for good. Yeah, but she's not a Jedi. Anyway, at the end of it all, it's probably pretty symbolic that there was a whole bunch that I really loved about the finale and a few things that I hated, because that kind of symbolizes my entire relationship with Star Wars Rebels as a series. Most of it, a good chunk of it, I really, really loved. And at the end of the day, I'll say, I'm a big fan of Star Wars Rebels. Although along the way of the series, there was bunches of episodes that I thought were like, this almost makes me want to give up on the show. And then the finale, of course, had a number of things I really didn't like. But overall, I still really enjoyed it. It just made me shake my head a little bit. But the question here is, what did you think of the Star Wars Rebels finale? Jump down into the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Listen, guys, while you're here, why don't you take a second and subscribe to my YouTube channel? Also, click the thumbs up button. Leave your thoughts on the things I said. Hey, you don't have to agree with me. Jump down below. Let me know your point of view. I want to hear what you guys have to say. That'll do it for me, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. My name's John Campea, and until my next video, bye-bye.